Hello, everyone, and welcome to our ISP training in the therapy system. So today we're going to go over how to find ISPs, how to document on them, how to read through them, important pieces that you need to know in order to be able to facilitate that. And so starting from the dashboard, like we always do, I'm going to select on individual. You're going to have a handful of options here. The one that you were going to look for is ISP Data. So right here, we're going to click on New to enter data, and you're going to get a list of the programs that are available to you. I'm going to go ahead and click on the program that I want as well as the individual, and it's going to bring me up a list of all the different programs that a person has assigned to them, or ISPs. We use the two interchangeably here. If you want to sort through this list, you can click the ISP program, and it'll do some sorting alphabetically as best it can. And so things to look for here, we have a few different types of ISPs or programs that we run routinely, and the titles really do help you identify which ones you may need to read through or review at that particular time. And so each person will have an ADL. You typically, this will either be an ADL and an AM PM like this one is, or there might be two separate ones, one for an AM, one for a PM. And on here is going to walk through the various routines that people have, things that need to be done each day, and we'll need to check off all the stuff that we provided for service. For some people, they'll have activities, and it'll say what day and time, again, where all of this gets completed. Some of what you'll see is called equipment tracking. This is a review of all the equipment that a person has, and it's typically assigned to one person within the house. And then we have our formal objectives. And so as you go through the various objectives, and we have several right here, and I'll show you all of them on my screen. We've got formal objective 2, which is equipment maintenance, and the PM indicates that it's to be run every PM. For medication administration, much the same, every PM. Formal objective 3 is choosing outfit. It's in the AM. Formal objective 4, family style dining. She does every day in the AM and PM. Formal objective 5 is money management. It's not designated. So we'll need to look at that one a little closer to see when we're supposed to do that one. And then she's got some informal objectives for exercise in the evenings and walking daily. And so these are the big ones that you're going to document on every single day, the formal, informal, and ADLs. Some folks, including Laurel, have a positive support plan, and she has two. One is for some typical target behaviors and how we're working with that, and she also has a PRN one, which outlines when and under what circumstances she should receive a PRN. And so some folks will have these. They'll also have an outing ISP that's in here. There's a nutritional assessment that you'll see for those folks who are in our ICFs. Please don't worry about this one. And a couple of times a year, we facilitate an inventory. And so these are some of the things you'll see in the ISP section. What we're going to spend the most of our time kind of going through is what are things that you document on daily and what does that look like? And so the first thing we're going to do is dive into one of our formal objectives, and we'll just pick one. Not all of our formal objectives need to be documented on each day. And so that's why you're looking for the cues here in the titles to figure out what it is. And so if I'm jumping into a shift and I'm looking at what are the things I'm supposed to facilitate today, if it's an evening shift, I'm going to pay particular attention to my equipment maintenance, med admin, skip the outfit, family style dining, and the exercise. And make sure that, hey, I not only run, but then come back and document on these particular programs. And we'll just click on medication administration here. And I have not facilitated this program for Laurel before. And for the first time you come into working with an individual, before you're able to document on the goal, you have to read through it. And so it'll prompt you into this and show you, hey, here's exactly what needs to happen. It'll go through the long-term objective or remain involved in taking your meds. She'll take it at the proper time. She'll accept medication and show initiative during the medication pass. She should continue to be encouraged to independently accept. It'll tell you the scheduling frequency, the documentation, and the criteria for completion. And so all of these things get outlined right here. The big pieces that you'll want to pay attention to are the teaching methods and the tasks. And so if I jump down to the teaching method here, it's going to tell me how I should run this program with Laurel. And so when I'm administering medication, I'll tell Laurel one of her medication is calcium tablet. Use her hand for options, with one option being the medication is not for, the other hand will be what it is for. If Laurel picks one of the hands for bones, staff will give verbal praise. If she doesn't know, then staff will explain that the calcium tablet will help her make her bones strong. The medication passer will pass medications according to the MAR. We'll invite Laurel to take her medications, ask her to take her meds with the choice of what she wants it taken in, and we'll supervise as she takes the medications to say thank you. So these are the things that we are doing for Laurel. And the thing we're trying to do is help her know what certain medications are for. And so the thing specifically we're working on is Laura will tell staff what the calcium pill is for, using your hands as options to pick one. And Laurel is your calcium for your bladder, bones, head, etc. And then we're going to score how she responds, whether she needs one verbal prompt, two verbal prompts, three verbal prompts, or she declines, or if she wasn't there that day. Okay, so that's what we're doing with this one. And I'm going to scroll down here. I'm going to click acknowledge that I've reviewed through. I know what this program is. And so now typically once you've acknowledged it, when you click on new, it'll take you to this screen here. It'll automatically have the date filled in. I'll click on next. And some programs will require a start and end time. I don't believe this one does. And so we're just going to go through, we're going to select, hey, I did this. She said yes. If there's anything from a comment standpoint and how it went, I can put that in here to make it part of the record. And then I can click submit. Because this is live documentation, I'm not going to click submit. It will take you to a confirmation page. But I'm not going to click on this here because I don't want to actually enter it into her record. And so for some of our programs like ADLs, and I have clicked through this one at some point in time in the past, when I click on next and I come down, there's going to be a couple of tasks here. I don't need to report on all of them. I'm just reporting on the one that I completed. So if I did morning cares with her that morning, well, what does morning cares mean? I've already got, if I don't remember, I can click back into the hyperlink here with the program name. It'll pull up the breakdown of that same area that I acknowledged before, and it'll tell me here's all the stuff that Laurel needs done each morning. She has a bag check, basin bath, body check, deodorant, release of any restraints, her hair's done, laundry's done, linens, lotion. So when I'm saying I did all of these things for her hip and knee strengthening protocols, then if I'm saying, yep, we did all these things, fantastic. I can go ahead and close the box that pops up here. And I can say, yep, we completed. If I didn't get all those things done, I'll say partially completed. And down here, I'll note, hey, here's the things that we didn't do or did do, whichever is less. If she declined and said, no, thanks, I don't want to do any of that stuff today, then I can put that in here. This is a big piece of our documentation every day. And so it's very important that you're coming in each shift where you're actually providing care and make sure that you get the documentation done on the ADLs, because it outlines, like you saw on that list, all the things that we do with a person over the course of the day. And a lot of it is the routine stuff. We want to make sure that we've got that documented. And then we don't need to document all those pieces into a T-log or somewhere else because it's all reflected here. So I don't need to put anything in the evening one if I'm doing day pieces. I'll go ahead and click submit and it's there. All right, so we've gone through ADLs, formal objectives. Last piece I want to just take a walk through is positive support plan. And so I've reviewed through Laurel's positive support plan, but it's been a while. So once again, I can look at the link and say, okay, I need to do a little refresher on what are the things in Laurel's positive support plan that I need to take a look at. And so I can see up here, what are some of the things that are we working on with Laurel? What are some of the target behaviors that she may exhibit that we're trying to help her reduce? And then in what ways do we help reduce some of the anxiety that she has? And we outline that she has some medications that help supporting her here. And once again, down at the bottom, we're going to have our teaching methods. And so for each target behavior, we're going to talk a little bit more about what that, we've talked about what that is, but how do we respond to it? And so if Laurel's exhibiting some verbal aggression, we're going to talk, here's the things that we do. We need to remain calm and talk in a calm manner. She becomes anxious when there's a lot going on, lots of people talking at once. Initially, we're going to ignore any verbal aggression so as not to reinforce the behavior unless it puts somebody in danger. If Laurel continues to yell or interrupt, staff should redirect Laurel's attention to other activities, so we're using redirection. Staff praise Laurel for using her words when she's effectively communicating. She likes to feel helpful as she's part of the staff, and so on and so forth. You kind of get the idea here. I can go through and see what are all the different approaches that we utilize in supporting Laurel. So when I come in to do my documentation, each of the target behaviors that we are working with for her are listed here, and we're going to identify whether yes or no they were present in that particular shift. And so each day it was listed as an AM PM, if you remember. And so you'll do this each shift and whether or not these behaviors are present. And so if I close this out, I can go to next. So, and the meds in the parentheses just means that she is utilizing medications to help support her in this. And I'm going to go through and say, do we see any verbal aggression? It's all defaulted as no. So this way for the day, I might say, hey, there was some blocking that happened today. No charging, no physical aggression. She didn't eat today. And if we saw something else, I might put yes. And down here, I'm going to put some comments in, hey, here's something we saw that was different. And so that's our behavioral documentation for Laurel for today. Once again, click submit and it's in there. So that is documenting on ISPs here at the Phoenix residence. Once again, just kind of in summary here, to get to this place, you're going to go to individual, ISP data, you'll click on new, and then you're going to pick your program, individual, you'll get their full list, which can be sorted by clicking the top here. And you're going to make sure that you document on ADLs for all AM and PM shifts. You're going to make sure that you come through and document on their formal and informal objectives, as well as any positive support information that they have on their list. So thank you very much. Have a nice day.